Unlike Google Pixel 4 XL, which offers 6 GB of RAM, all Huawei phones start with 8 GB of RAM.
Damn!
Hey guys, and welcome to Need to Know. This week, we want to see if the cheaper Honor V30 Pro is actually a better deal than Huawei's best phone yet, the Mate 30 Pro. As you know, it hasn't been the easiest year for Huawei. The US ban meant a huge market loss, so Huawei set its eyes on Europe. Actually, they're just launching the Mate 30 in Spain, but guess what? Google services are still missing. That means zero access to YouTube, Gmail, Google Maps. Guess how many Europeans are gonna go for it? Yeah, not that many. To compensate, just as the year was coming to a close, Honor, a Huawei sub-brand, released a new phone, V30. Now, why would they do that at the end of November when most of us are looking for Black Friday deals or have already placed some pre-orders? Answer? They're releasing it only on the Chinese market. But even in China, how can it ever compete with the Mate anyway? That's what I thought too, until I did some digging, and surprise, surprise, Honor V30 is actually a bit better than the Mate 30 Pro, at a smaller price. It's even something Google should look into for their next Pixel. Before we go into details, you may know by now that both V30 models came with the latest chip from Huawei, the Kirin 990, the same chip that is in the Mate 30. This means both V30 phones support 5G from the get-go thanks to the built-in modem that Snapdragon lacks. It's hard to say which is better, Honor V30 Pro or Mate 30 Pro, when you look on Antutu. They're pretty on par, with one exception, GPU. If you want the phone with the best graphic unit, definitely go for the Honor V30 Pro. From the two series, we'd bet on the Honor one for gaming. A Kirin 990 chip also means first-in-a-phone DSLR level noise reduction. So, just from this chip, besides 5G connectivity, better speed and performance, AI features, you get a great setup for photography. Huawei's focus on camera features continues big time in the V30 phones. You'll know what I mean in a bit. Until then, you should know both Huawei and Honor Pro phones have a 6.5-inch screen, but you'll notice that the Mate one has a bigger screen-to-body ratio. Unlike Google Pixel 4 XL, which offers 6 GB of RAM, all Huawei phones start with 8 GB of RAM. However, if you want 256 GB of storage with that RAM, go for the V30 Pro version. The Mate 30 Pro's excellent 40 watts fast charging is also something you get on the V30 Pro, as well as wireless charging and reverse charging. But you get a slightly smaller battery, 4100 mAh, instead of Mate's 4500 mAh. Honor V30 Pro has definitely the performance you expect from a flagship Android and the battery to sustain it. So how's the camera? Ready to be surprised? Honor pushed the sensors to their max, so the primary lens is a 40 megapixel one on both the normal and the Pro model. Before you shout, hardware isn't everything, believe me, we know. When it comes to photography, with the right software, the megapixel count is just a number. But remember that at the end of the day, we're talking about Huawei power here. We haven't tested Honor V30 Pro yet, but something tells us the phone has the smarts to back up that number. Compared to Mate 30 Pro, it's still a big leap. That phone has a 40 megapixel main camera in its quad camera array. On the V30 Pro, the camera module is completed by a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera and an 8 megapixel tele-lens. The dual selfie camera is housed in a pill-shaped punch hole on the V30 phones. Just like Mate 30 Pro, the V30 Pro has a 32 megapixel selfie lens with an 8 megapixel ultra-wide. The Mate 30 Pro still has some aces up its sleeve, like Face ID, which the Honor phones lack, and card slot. Other than that, there's not much the Honor flagships miss out on. Consider all those features at a price around $700. That's $300 less than the Mate 30 Pro. Quite the incentive for Chinese customers. Again, these phones will most likely stay in China. Life just isn't fair sometimes, is it? What good can come out of this? Hopefully, more phone companies will get the right mix of great specs and affordable prices. 2019 started with over $1,000 premium phones, but as the year came to an end, companies got a reality check. Apple came with a reasonably priced iPhone 11, Samsung and OnePlus had some of the best phones this year under $1,000. If only we could get the same deals next year when 5G will be all around. By the way, are you getting any new phone this Black Friday? Or what cool deals did you find? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget, subscribe and hit the bell button if you want to see more videos like this. See ya, guys!